All right, I am online. Just making sure I'm audible, visible. Opening up the chat as well. And just making sure if I'm live and you can see me. All right, we are live. Okay, not yet hearing my own voice. I'm just gonna um just okay, there you go. All right. Okay. We are officially on 65th episode talking about unlocking emotional intelligence using your brain skills. And here we are, almost we've come to the, you know, more than half of the milestone is already achieved. But we've got a lot to cover when it comes to brain talents. And in another episode or two, we will be wrapping up adaptability. But today, we are going to talk about how to embrace change in order to, you need to identify, first of all, whether there is a change required or not. And then how do you step into that change? How you gracefully embrace it for your success in all aspects of life, whether at work or in family or, any initiatives that you want to take. So even though, as I always say, that we'll take a particular skill and we'll go, you know, towards its breadth and depth. But when it when we are exploring such talents, it is important to also note that it could be somewhere, certain strategies or could be repeated. And certain times you will find new strategies, new examples are coming out. But in essence, how many ever times that we want to, keep repeating, and unless and until you apply on it, you won't be able to register what you are actually learning through these episodes. Imagine for 100 episodes, if you could travel through me, travel along with me, at some point of time, you must have got some aha moment. And that is the reason I always ask you to register your awareness, whatever you gained insights as comments below. Of course, it will give you its own rewards, attached to it, but it will also instill that learning, whatever you gained. Okay. So this could be a crash course. Every day, 1 hour will be a crash course on, deep dive into a particular skill, talking about left brain, right brain, and midbrain. And I wish there was such initiatives and these kind of sessions happen during the school and college and wherever we go. So that could have equipped us even more. See, because we are talking about brain skills within us, we may be left brain driven or right brain driven. What if we knew that there is a um, power within us, that you can use these activity strategies to activate your left brain and right brain? Sometimes you need to take the blend of both the brains. So we must have been in EQ moments a lot of times, right? All of us. Even a 6-year-old could have been emotionally intelligent in a lot of ways. But if only we got this awareness that, yeah, this is what is emotional intelligence. And what if we are able to use that power every time we want to, quantum leap, and every time we want success in any aspects of life. On that note, by now you would have been, very aware of what is EQ as a principle, what are the philosophies behind brain skills, and how do you approach. The entire structure is divided into a definition through EQ. If we take a particular skill and we define in EQ language, and then how does your left brain, right brain approaches. Then we talk about pros and cons, and then applicability, where and all you can apply this. Even though this in one particular episode is angling towards, we may be picking up adaptability, for parents, adaptability for entrepreneurs, and for leadership, or adaptability, in general to adapt, balance that growth. So even though the episode is angling that way, but inside the episode, we will also be talking about where and all you can apply inside that domain. And then we will also talk about a case study who has lived through, okay, he or she has lived through these example situations. We can easily learn and model them. And of course, we will have a lot of questions despite of all, brain strategies and brain hacks has been shared. Even though we have seen some successful models, it is also important how we are going to incorporate these lessons in our life. So for that, there are a lot of tools will be discussed in the end of the episode. So I would highly recommend you to, if it really resonates with you, don't forget to share it with somebody whom you think, maybe they're looking for this kind of insight, that, right moment, right time is very, very important. So you be that light of the tunnel for somebody. And of course, show me your love and support when you really like any part of the sessions. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll get notified whenever it's going to, any episodes going to come. And I'm also doing the same thing in Spotify. So subscribe to my Spotify. So on the fly, on the go, you can listen to it. All right. Let's see what we've got for today. Okay. Let me share my screen and let's understand what is today's topic. All right. So let me just open there we go. All right. Here we are. And we're going to be establishing the need for embracing the change, and if there is a change happening, how do you embrace it, adapt your thinking for succeeding in any part of your life. Okay, so we're also going to be discussing some proven strategies to overcome those fear of changes and embrace as an opportunity for personal and professional growth, and how do you develop the growth mindset and take small steps toward adapting successfully. Okay, but we need to also understand that change is something which is constant in life, okay? That we all know philosophically and reality as well. But those who embrace it don't just survive, they thrive. Because thriving skills are more than the survival skills. That is what is differentiates you between you and the average mediocre mind, because it is highly fast-paced, fast, highly competitive as well. Where do we stand ourselves? Where do we differentiate ourselves with others? Is what is going to determine the quality of life, the quality of results that we are going to gain. Okay, so we're going to learn to change, learn to embrace the change, and turn the change into your greatest friend. Only then you can embrace. If you keep resisting it, then there'll be a lot of friction. So you will not be willing to change. So there is no embracing of change happening at all without acceptance. So sometimes it could be a logical acceptance, sometimes it is emotional acceptance. So we're going to see all that. We will be touching upon left brain, logical brain, and right brain, emotional brain all the time, because this series is dedicated to brain skills and how via brain skills you're going to develop emotional intelligence. Okay. And also you should be, understanding the fact that change could be intimidating. Okay. But it is also a gateway to growth. If you can see the change as an opportunity, then it could have endless possibilities for you to see through it. So that is what we're going to see, how we're going to embrace the change as and when it comes. Okay, whether you are navigating a career change, or a life changes, or as simply as as a stepping out of your comfort zone. If you find something is not working, in the face of life that you're walking through, it could be, you may be a full-time mom, you can still be you know working on your family goals, daily day-to-day goals, and if you see something is not working, you might want to really change. Changes is always bringing anxiety, right, to anybody, to human brain. So in your day-to-day life, if you walk with resistance, then there's going to be stress, there's going to be chaos, there's going to be delay, there's going to be missed opportunities. But what if you embrace the change? And as a mother, we naturally do. When we are parenting, we come across a lot of change, right? When, especially when you have a toddler, and then toddler to preteen, and then a lot of things happens when you are a parent and a, between you and a child relationship. And of course, family dynamics also changes, right? But how are we going to use that awareness, that adaptability quotient into all other aspects of life? Do we even aware that we are taking that change acceptingly, willingly, or we are doing that as for the just for the sake of getting over with it? So those are the nuances that you need to understand. And how is that affecting the brain power? Sometimes you may be very, very skilled in maybe that's your left brain logic or your creative brain, which is helping you without any residue, without any impact. But sometimes you might not know how to handle it. That could be your the other side of the brain that you have not exercised it at all. So there you're going to struggle. And during the struggle, you're going to leave some residue, the impact. But if you're not understanding the impact and addressing it, it's going to bounce back on you. It's going to definitely come on to you next time. It's a matter of time. Similarly, you'll have to teach your children. And as a parent, as a whether you're a mother or a dad, it is very important to teach all these awareness, emotional literacy itself to our children, and to be also able to understand what's happening within ourselves. Okay. On that note, we'll see what we've got for today. And it is important that, as I always say, emotional intelligence is not, only for because just because I dedicated this series earlier to busy moms, and then you know, I had made sure that emotional intelligence is not just not on my titles. Even the resources that I share openly, it's going to be available for everybody. So emotional intelligence is needed for anybody, any gender, any age, any profile, any walks of life. Okay. Let's talk about what is embracing change in in EQ definition. What do you mean by you embracing change? And when are you a- actually really embracing the change? When when your left brain is allowing you to logical thinking, like if you can think through logically and be able to plan for changes, create strategies to adjust and succeed. That means you are ready to embrace the change. And when you are right brain driven, it is enabling you to staying emotionally open. Okay. You are using your creativity to see change as an opportunity. That means you're also ready to embrace change. You are already in the stage of embracing the change. You see, suppose you, okay, let's leave out the right brain effect of it. Okay. You're not ready to emotionally be open for the change. Okay. You let alone leave that fact of creating some creativity to see that change as an opportunity. Let's leave that fact. You are only allowing a plan towards change. Okay. You are creating such a backup plan. As a mother, what happens is when the daycare when the nanny is not there and you're supposed to travel down to your office for work. Now what happens? You will have a backup plan. Okay. Now that backup plans comes with some adjustment and uh, some compromise. Maybe you're running late, 1 or 2 hours. You might have to run late because you have to work on the backup plan to make sure, or you're getting that stress within you, right? Or it is impacting people around you. Okay. So this happens 1 or 2 times, and then you still have a backup plan. Now, suggesting that it is of course, that particular change is not going to always there. Otherwise, we'll be in firefighting. That will be very, very exhaustive for anybody to handle. Now, when this change happens, you're creating a backup plan. Now, if the change is going to be repeated, okay, that means something is not working. So you really have to fix it. So at that point of time, you will have to be available, emotionally open towards that. Otherwise, you're taking in that impact of it. Okay. Let's say for the same example, you have arranged a nanny and then the nanny did not come. You are, sometimes you're just leaving the child in the daycare, whatever was possible, 1 day daycare or 2 days. Now, imagine you keep shifting that daycare or nanny. Now, what happens is the child is going through that impact, right? They are going from different hands to different places. So that is affecting your child. Maybe the child is getting sick. Now, what's happening is you are emotionally affected. Okay. So if you resist that change is happening and you are, emotionally affected, so you will figure out when there is a next time there is a same change going to happen, you'll figure out how to handle it so that emotionally you're not affected. Otherwise, the same change will, definitely it will show up in different other areas. You might lose your control because being a mother, it is very important to take care of the wellness of the child, right? Where they are in terms of safety and all that. So even during choosing options for your backup plan, or working towards a change, it is important that you are emotionally open. A typical example is if the child is supposed to be, you are relocating, and when relocation happens, it has its own implication when there is a family, and the child is actually supposed to be changing the schools. Now, when there's a change of school, especially with a teenager or a preteen, changing the school has its his or her expectations, right? There'll be a cultural change, or it could be a cultural shocker. It could be friends that they have to wait and form new friendships, or adapting to new way of education, teaching, learning. So these could be the changes. Suppose they are not, they are having that resistance, they are very stubborn in terms of, they are stuck with their old friends or old school, and they are not willing to be able to welcoming the new change. They are emotionally not able to accept, they're not open. So they will be resisting. Okay, so it is essential to take the importance of the data which is coming from your emotional brain while you're working through your logical brain. Okay, now when it comes to pros and cons, like what could be the advantages and what could be the disadvantage, right? Let's see what is the advantage of it. Now suppose you are okay with the change, growth opportunity can happen. You're going to learn new skills and grow personally and professionally. Then you're going to have an improved resilience skills. Okay, you're going to develop adaptability and bounce back from challenges. And then you will have flexibility. You're going to foster a flexible mindset to adapt fast-paced environment and all that. Now, what could be the disadvantage? When I say disadvantage, it's like overdoing on a particular skill. That is what is the disadvantage of pursuing any skill. You may be comfortable in learning one thing and then being comfortable in that, executing that. So that's going to be a trouble when you are dealing with brain skills. So it is important to know that, where you are. I always say, display brain skills like this. Okay, imagine there are two sides to brain, right? And there's a midbrain. This is where prefrontal cortex is there, and this is the executive center. Right brain, this is my right side, and left side. Now, a person who's exercising, let's say, adaptability, it's a pure shot right brain skills, okay? But we are also taking the logical brain. The reason why is because when you think you're, working on your adaptability, maybe you're good at it, you're getting good at it, or it's already a good, what do you call, existing strength in you. Suppose you overdo on it. Suppose you over adapt in certain areas. Now, what's happening is you're rewiring you're actually hardwiring your brain towards that particular skill so much that you miss to take the logical inputs. And also you have traveled this far. So it is very difficult for you to come back to the mid portion, because mid portion is where you're going to take the blend of easy for you to switch over. Otherwise, it's going to be, they cannot see the logical point at all. They cannot be thinking logically. Similarly, with this side, if you're over logically thinking only, not able to take this kind of data, then that is also going to be trouble. Okay, so you need to be understanding that when you overdo on a particular skill, especially with the embracing changes, what's happening is discomfort. It gives you that adjustment to change, which can be challenging, especially with uncertainties. First of all, any change will give you the discomfort, and then it might also have a risk of failure. Embracing changes involving taking risk, not all of them lead to success also. You might have to compromise. That is why keywords is adjusting, compromising. When I say compromise, I always used to feel that why would I compromise? Why can't it be all the time a win-win for everybody? Little did I know that I was working towards balancing. And too much of balancing also means that you want everything in control and you feel like God-like, right? And we are only moving towards perfectionism. So perfectionism is a myth. It'll give us an exhaustion. So what is a message there? The key message there is to find a harmony while you're trying to work the win-win, part of everything. But you also should be able to let go, right? And blend in, being flexible to accept that fact there could be some compromises and adjustment. Thereby, if you're not having it and if you're overdoing on it, suppose you're like overbending, over flexibility, that can also lead you to emotional stress, because adapting can cause strain, okay, especially when disrupting long held routines. So while you are embracing change, these things could be a disadvantage. All right, making sure that you are not overdoing on this particular skill as well. Then importance of embracing change. If you don't have it, you're going to miss the growth opportunity. You're going to feel stuck in routines, and you're going to experience frustration and stagnation on the way. Suppose you do have it, you will find yourself growing. You will find yourself bouncing back, right? And you can navigate the uncertainty with some confidence. If you have that power in you to, see through, right? But with resistance, you cannot have that courage. Statistically also, organizations embracing change is increased to 70%. Because especially after pandemic, everybody went through this, right? Right in pandemic, adaptability quotient was tested for everybody. And after that, they embraced the change. And it is also reportedly saying that for higher performance, people who are able to have adaptability in their power kit, they are able to shine and grow well. So it also increases the employee satisfaction as well. So who needs this? Entrepreneurs, especially who wants to pivot business models in response to market changes, professionals who are seeking career advancement in industries undergoing technological shifts, parents who wants to change in family dynamics, and then students who are navigating academic or career transitions. Initially, when I started off, it was angled for busy moms, but then I made sure that it is, I know I could understand there are a lot of people viewing these series from different angles of walks of life. And I do get messages to understand more about how do they, as a student or as a professional, how would they approach certain, skill set that we are discussing. So I made sure that it is commonly addressed, right? Then applying change in career development. You're going to be staying, okay, now we are going to be talking about application. Okay, where can we apply embracing the changes in your career development? You're going to be staying, it is important to stay productive and competitive. You're going to learn new skills and adapt to evolving industry standards. Similarly, example, okay, in your career, suppose classic example was pandemic, right? After pandemic, whether it is corporate or business or even if it's a small or big business, they adapted to changes. Okay, how? They embrace the digital technology, digital presence. So in essence, if your company did not have a digital presence, they might have a website, they might have a career, um, job portal and all that. But do they have the presence in social media? How are they, when I was working in a big four, so, a few years back, that is the time when LinkedIn got, I'm talking about few, definitely, 8 to 10 years back. So LinkedIn was very new at that point of time. And we started using LinkedIn as a passive recruitment. It was pretty new, right, in the market. And people have started using that tool for uploading their CVs. And the entire, their curriculum vitae comes as a LinkedIn profile. So we could easily understand what are their previous experiences, current experiences, even before we could hire them. So that became a passive recruitment tool for us, right? So like this, if a marketing manager embraces digital strategies when traditional methods becomes less effective, that is a good application of embracing the change. Then comes in business innovation. Okay, welcoming changes to lead industries, innovation and customer satisfaction is key. For example, a tech startup embracing cloud computing, developing products for remote work environments. Classic example. And Elon Musk, as a person who takes a lot of crazy initiatives, right? He also picks up initiatives. You must be, we all know his growth and the number of initiatives that he has been taken in different industries, right? He has spread his wing, not just in technology, it is also in space. He's also into, obviously, the AI is disrupting, so he has an investment over there. So if his trend is, he advises, especially the startup, to take up that initiatives, of course, without that kind of an infrastructure that he has developed over the period of time in terms of talent or logistic resources and all that, funding and all that. Without that, we won't be able to take that calculated risk. But his approach is he picks up the project, which for sure it is an 80% failure. Imagine people who work with only 80% failure. They already knew that's going to be 80% failure. They're only capitalizing on the 20% feasibility to make that 20% into that 80% major results. So if that is how the world is churning into, then it is cascading down to a normal person also, that they have to embrace these kind of fast-paced changes. Okay. So at this point of time, you might have to assess where do you stand. You could be a student, you could be a career professional, or you could be a career advancing person looking for a change, or you could be a full-time mom, but parent who's undergoing a lot of changes in the family due to family dynamics. So ask yourself, where are you changing and where are you embracing change? Where is the need for you to change and how are you approaching? And if you don't approach, what happens? That is also important. If it is serving your goal, wonderful, you don't have to change. But if it is not, then it is really important to look at it. Now, in personal growth, okay, personal growth itself means that you're not stuck in something. You constantly are learning, right? You're going to be exploring new hobbies, trying to, find out new activities to broaden that horizons, then build relationship, open to new connection experiences, especially networking. Very, very important. Whether you're doing it for professional, opportunities or personally also, you need to be able to be falling into some like-minded community, especially as a parent, as a mom. Figure out who are your, we are very, the women in the family are very, very skilled in our elders. I'm talking about my mom, my aunt, and all that, my mother-in-law for that matter. So they were very good at networking. They're very good at forming friends, right? Similarly, we need to be able to form that kind of friendship associations in our, profile. If you're a toddler mom, then you must be able to, find out moms who have toddlers and who have same problems, right? And then it becomes a like-minded approach. Otherwise, it's going to be, if they have an experienced parent, of course, you can take their experience and guidance, but you may not be open enough to move with them, right? A lot of frictions happens. So you'll have to figure that association, okay? And then you're going to shift thinking, adapt new perspectives for personal development. Embracing changes in parenting is equally important because early childhood definitely needs a different approach. Okay, but school years, supporting their academic and as well as social growth is also important, because as a parent we need to understand they're also changing and their needs and wants is also changing. They may not be a child, maybe in our eyes they're still a child psychologically, but they develop, right? They grow fast. So during their teenager years, it is even more important to adjust your communication style in order to give them that freedom, necessary freedom. But it is important to have that discipline, but change that as a positive reinforcement, so that it's not thrusted upon them. They have to be willingly be responsible and be able to take care of their things. So that is where our maturity, our adaptation really lies, okay, as a parent. Then change in education. When switching majors, that is where, huge change happens with an student academic growth. So embracing new academic interest for better performance and fulfillment is equally important. So you're going to choose your career path based on that, right? So you need to be forecasting what is needed. In fact, future changes you'll have to be forecasting so that you choose your current academic path really well. So you got to adapt to new career goals based on that evaluating passions. Okay. Now let's talk about 5 brain hacks. This is the area that we will cover, talking about how to activate your left brain and right brain. All right. Okay. Now this is your right brain activation tips. Okay. In this episode, we are talking about how to embrace change, right? So for which you're going to activate your right brain by self-reflecting. Okay. You're going to reflect on how changes has positively impacted your life and the future outlook. You're going to use past experiences to welcome the future changes and professional reflection on past career changes to embrace the new job opportunities is also important. Typically, you can have a SWOT analysis for your own strengths and weaknesses. You need to be very clear on both. A person who is not clear on their weakness is going to have a downside. Okay. So both the future forecast should be there and the evaluation of the past experience will give you the clarity to be able to handle the reality. Okay, that is how the self-reflection has to jump in for embracing the change. Then comes long-term benefits. That's your left brain. I'll tell you how. First, immediate discomfort. You are going to say, okay, you're going to be adaptable for, you're going to actually embrace the change for short-term pain. It is short-term only. I mean, it's not going to spread out. If it's going to spread out, who will take that change? Nobody. Our human brain doesn't allow, right? We don't want pain only. So you're going to embrace the pain. It's still okay. And thinking that it is going to give you a long-term gain. Okay. That way, it is okay to have that immediate discomfort because our brain requires instant gratification. If you can control that, if you can have that, you know, make sure that you delay that gratification, then you are embracing the change. Okay. You're going to acknowledge the short-term challenges, then persist, stay committed to the change process. Pain, pain is not an easy thing, right? But people who take that pain, who take that change, will definitely, I mean, staying committed will definitely see through the long-term benefit. It will reward. So focusing on future benefits and growth is very, very important. We do, right? As a parent, we always do a lot of, see, when we approach parenting itself, right? Whether it's the birth of the child till, they live with us, or even when they go beyond, empty the nest and go. Even at those points, our approach towards our children are always for a long-term gain, right? We always advise or we always do a lot of things thinking that it's going to give them our entire planning or goals in our life, even day-to-day life. We are giving them some food or changing their nutrition diet or something. Why? In order to combat that current challenges they go through health, and also for a long-term benefit of their health well-being. Similarly, we choose school. Why? Not because our friends are the neighborhood that we are very fond of, we don't want to leave. We also make sure that schooling, that entire elementary or a mid school, that entire time that school, the child is spending that in the school is going to have a long-term effect, right? The way they, learn a lot of things, or the way their career path is mapped in that particular school or a district, academics, and the associations they form into, or the extracurricular they are exposed to. So these are the approaches that we take. So similarly, we're going to embrace the change in rest of the aspect as well, right? Then comes developing a growth mindset. Always, always remember fixed versus growth mindset. So somebody who's fixed mindset, they will not they don't like to grow. They want to be in comfort zone. So the first categorization is that, are you a person who wants to grow, or you're okay with your comfort zone? Now that is where the entire the source of problem occurs. When you are a fixed mindset, you don't want to get out of the comfort zone. That means you cannot accept the change at all. There's no point in talking to that person, right? Only a person who has that growth mindset can actually see the change, embrace the change. So you need to be able to change the challenges as opportunity, viewing difficulties as chances to learn and grow, and embrace that learning, seeing failures as stepping stones to future success. Okay, student viewing academic setbacks as preparation for future achievements is a classic example, right? Why the student has to keep on writing exams? They might as well say, okay, I'll just write one exam at the final end of the year. Each year, one exam is okay. Why do I have to keep on doing it? Because they will be the reason why we have unit test, I mean, all the rest of the weekly test happening is because we are training our brain to face that main test, right? Especially when we were writing our in our school time, right? This 10th standard, 10th grade, and the 12th grade is a huge thing. It's a huge milestone. It is so stressful for that child. They have been, prepared for that, and emotionally they are very stressed out. And that is why the government of India has relaxed a lot of, policies when it comes to the 10th grade public exams and the 12th grade. Similarly, over here, when I'm in US, I see a lot of stress, okay, given for emphasis was given for weekly. Every week, typically every day when they go to mid school and a high school, they keep having those tests. That is only because they are training their brain. So that when the final test happens, it's actually not very tough because anyway they are used to it because they've been exercising the muscle. of, coming to a point of testing their skills, right? So it is a method to embrace that learning and changing that challenges and opportunity. Then comes seeking support for change. That is also important. Not everything can be done with our own brain style. Okay, our brain styles could have limitations. That is why I conduct a EQ fun workshop using your brain styles. First of all, we will understand how many, 8 brain styles are available. Okay, as per research, these are all AI driven, research driven workshops. So in that workshop, we will identify how one brain style is communicating with another, which means in your family or in your, vicinity, you may be one brain style and another person could be a different brain style, or sometimes it could be the same. But even if it is same, you will find commonalities and some differences because we're talking about brain, right? And brain has a different neural pathways constructed, and there are a lot of hardwiring and rewiring constantly happening based on the person's life stages and the way they are open to learn and grow and all that. Okay. So it'll be a fun, interactive workshop for women exclusively. You will be able to identify what are the brain styles there and what is the strength and weaknesses of each brain styles, brain talents. And you will also figure out what could be your brain style. Okay. We will tell you how to measure your brain style as well. So that way, it is important to seek other people's, perspectives. So that first of all is asking for help when you're stuck. We don't ask. Most of women don't ask for help, and you'll have to break through that and be able to approach others for a good change. So the first element of advice is to have mentors. So seek that professional guidance from experienced individuals, from expertise who have walked through that life, who has that authority to teach you that, what, take this road, right? Of course, when it is thrusted on us, nobody, the human brain resists, right? But if they are able to guide you in a way that, through their mistakes, right? And they will have some structured planning, grow, what do you call it? Structured learning path. That is what is absent in, you can learn anything from YouTube and internet now. ChatGPT has come in place. But the thing is, you don't have a structured planning. Second, you will not find that accountability for somebody. ChatGPT cannot be accountable for you. But if you hire a coach, for example, if you hire a coach for your financial advising, so they are going to exactly guide you as to what to invest on, what to not to invest on, right? Based on their expertise, because you're paying them, right? They cannot mislead their clients. Similarly, for your health and fitness, they're going to guide you. New diet plans, and even for emotional intelligence coaches like me, we will exactly tell you what are the tools available and how do you customize your growth plan, right? Similarly, for business, at any point of business, for everything, even for marketing or sales or, general, your own growth. And how do you grow as a business entrepreneur, as a business leader? It is very important to have that mentorship always. Then peer connect is also important. Then support groups, I just told you, be part of some like-minded accountability groups. Even if you're, uh, you know, uh, joining a gym, make sure that you are falling in part of some gym partners. So that way you will have both the accountability, both your individual and not many of us are self-motivated, can be, the reason why we fail in our goals, New Year goals is only so much we are able to go with our personal accountability, right? We are committed, we are motivated only to an extent. But with endless distractions, there is numerous ways to make that person demotivated. Okay, the person can droop off anytime. That is why team accountability comes in picture, so that somebody can pull you. At least figure out that person who are more progressive than you. That way, somebody can pull you up, right? Always find people who are supporting in your goals, who are more progressive than you. Do not find partners who are like comforting you. They have to somewhere, they have to threaten you with, you should feel threatened. Or when I say threatened, you should feel that, what do you call it, that fire in you that you need to work with. That challenge has to be there. Pick up that kind of a partner who challenges you, not who comforts you. Okay. Then comes taking small steps towards change, because change itself is intimidating for brain. And now you're going to put your brain in task. It needs instant gratification. You're delaying that gratification. But too much brain, you cannot expect that poor little thing to handle so many things in life, right? So taking small steps will definitely help your conservation of energy for your brain. Break down that goals, divide that bigger chunk into smaller goals, implement gradually, introduce changes slowly to avoid overwhelming, and celebrate that progress. Because brain needs gratification. It needs constant reassurance whether it is working good for you or not. You need to tell, you need to make your brain a friend, really a friend, not having that voice, conflicting voice all the time. Okay. For that, you need to be able to reward your brain. So you can take a small break, you can go for a shopping or, you know, maybe a movie or a good heart bath, massage or something, which can help you relax. Okay. Give that brain break often so that it helps you more. Now it's an interesting part. We are going to be talking about a case study, a personality famous and relevant for this particular episode, none other than Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata, he just passed away in 2024. He is the legendary business magnate. He's from a group of Tata, they are the legacy of business people back in India, and they own a lot of industries. They start with, they have automation, automotive industry. They have their presence in telecom, media, lifestyle, food and beverages, technology, retail, e-commerce, travel, infrastructure, metals, aerospace, so on and so forth. The reason why I'm picking up Ratan Tata's brain is one, this person exemplifies a lot of qualities. I've been talking about Ratan Tata in various episodes, right? Especially to do with emotional brain. The qualities of how a person who can operate with the right brain and as well as his logical brain. Because running this kind of legacy industries is not a joke. A person who has to carry that legacy and he's a representative of this many group of industries is not a joke. In fact, after his passed away, people are still trying to figure out how much is net worth. He has left thousands of what do you call? Of course, in monetary terms, we can always measure, but there's a huge net worth left behind him. Okay, that has only been built based on people, the compassion, that love he has towards his work ethics, and the people that he served. He could be called as a servant leadership. He could be called as a transformer leader. He could be called as an inspiring leader. You name it, this person lived through. Okay, he remained as a only person. I mean, he dedicated entire life and time towards his work. So I am so honored to talk about this person and also trying to understand how his brain skills could have worked. So his left brain skills approach has always been strategic planning for long-term growth and global expansion. In previous episodes, we must have been talking about how he had, there are examples of when he wanted to bring automobile, a car. Car is always a luxury for a lot of people who are staying in the below par of the middle class, right? So how did he bring that luxury accessible to the masses of people? Okay, so that is the legacy that he has left. So we in the previous episode we spoke about how strategically he had planned through that when he wanted to do something on that front, when he had a partnership with another foreign company. They did not seem this idea to be very productive, and they kind of humiliated. But Ratan Tata did not display the frustration or the negative aspect. Instead, he waited. And the same company, uh, what he aimed to have a partnership, had its own downfall, and then they wanted to invest in India. And that's exactly the time that he went and grabbed that opportunity, right? Strategically, right? Strategically, not via his vengeance. So that is how planning, patience, persistence is very, very important. And then his right brain skills he is a visionary, right? To adapt and thrive in new industry. He can see through and he will be able to, he was able to embrace the current challenges as well. He did not resist. He knew there were barriers and he figured out, he was adaptable to figure out. So that is how, look at the startup investment he has done. He has not only grown his industry, he's also helped grow other industries as well. So these people, these visionary, always aim to make sure their nation, how can they increase the GDP of their nation? How can they create more jobs? How can they engage more people, right? People oriented. So his top brain talents could be resilience in this aspect, where consistently embracing changes in the market and business landscape is one of the key element for a leader. And then his ability to focus. Now, when I say focus, it's not concentration. It is about logical data focus and also taking care of the emotional data as well. Maintaining the long-term growth, which is the right brain, despite of challenges and market fluctuations. Very, very important. And transformation leadership. He led company through innovation and global expansion. So if you are just thinking how to adapt, how can I adapt his brain styles? Okay. So I'm going to give you few areas that you can touch upon. One, strategies for embracing changes could be educating yourself. Learn about the changes. First of all, you should be aware of what is happening politically, climate wise, or market wise, your customer, satisfaction rate, or what are they thinking, right? What do they expect more? Constantly, you need to be able to be behind that data and as well as be ready to pivot to anything. And in technology industry and your peer competitors, what is happening with them? Like if you're a student, you need to be able to understand what is the market expecting, what is the career changes happening, what are the employers expecting, and how can I pivot my the majors that I'm choosing? Because it's going to be at the end of the day, not just your time, effort, money, resources that we're going to spend entire school time. The education time is very, very important, right? And then accordingly setting clear goals, defining what you want to achieve through these changes, staying flexible, be ready to adjust your approach as needed. Okay. Then overcoming resistance to change, identifying fear. First of all, you need to be, see, overcoming the resistance is easier said than done. But there are strategies that you can apply because we are talking about brain skills. If you can tap into that power, then it is easier for you to embrace. So you're going to identify the fear factor. Okay. Recognize what's causing resistance to any changes that you want. Whenever there is a change going to come, obviously the human brain resists, but you need to identify the root cause. Then reframe the perspectives. Look for positive aspects and potential benefits. Seek information, gather knowledge to reduce that uncertainty and fear. If you don't have enough source, you can always take a feedback from your people, your family, or your colleagues, or your managers, your leaders, or hire a person to understand where do you stand in terms of market, or where is the gap, and accordingly reframe your goals. Then build that resilience towards that change. If you really understood there is a change required in you, and while you are trying to adapt, maybe you are trying to have some resistance, but you should be willing to open enough to uh, build that resilience to be able to bounce back. It's okay to fall off, but you should be quickly able to bounce back. So we have done an exclusive series for resilience in the beginning itself. So I would highly recommend you to go through that. You will understand the strategies, hacks towards that. You're going to learn from setbacks, and then develop that coping strategies and also maintain that perspective. Remember that change is a natural part of life. It's not going to be a long term. If it's going to be a long term, then there's no point of fighting through, right? You'll have to really change the course of your action. Then it is important to celebrate each and every success. It could be a small wins, right? Daily wins it is very important to take a note of it. Okay. You're going to acknowledge your progress, recognize small wins along the way, reflect on growth, consider how you have developed through these changes in process, share success, inspire others by sharing your journey. Okay. Then obviously you will have a lot of questions. Whether do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Are you in comfortable zone, or you're willing to embrace that discomfort? Then what is your long-term focus? Can you even see that forecasting? So there could be a lot of questions. As usual, I'm going to give you a tool called EQ Correspondence, which will help you assess 10-20 questions will be given to you. Okay. The more you ponder into it, the more you will self-discover. And thereby you will understand whether you already have it or there is a missing element so you can develop it. So once you are able to understand, identify the gap, then it is all important to apply these brain hacks to be able to embrace that change. But a person doesn't know where they stand. then it is difficult for them to accept anything comes across, right? Even this awareness sessions could not be of any use if you don't allow yourself to assess where you stand and be willing to take that next step. Okay, so this EQ quiz bundles is going to come to you as in a Google form where it's a quiz format. Okay, self-assessment, all the results and tips, everything will be published only to you on your email ID. It will be out there for all the 100 episodes, and there's going to be a little more time. Creating 100 quizzes is takes a little more time and logistics. So, but when we complete this 100 series, then it is out there for public only for cost. So I would want you to make use of it, and I'm ready to give you free of cost. All you have to do is, write down your comments, write down your learnings, top 3 learnings as comments below. Now, when I see somebody writing their insights as comments, it only shows the person is sincere and eager to learn more. Obviously, I will be, as a coach, as a person who's passionate about emotional intelligence, I would love to spread this awareness. Okay. So I'm going to give you 100% free access to this entire 100 quiz bundles for lifetime. Okay. So go ahead and share your top 3 insights. And top of it, there are open resources. I already told you, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will find a lot of things. When you subscribe, you will get notified in the future episodes. Similarly, Spotify podcast is also happening. I'm going to be opening another series on most likely on money quotient. Let's see what we have got. Let's see what's going to unfold. So stay tuned on Spotify as well. And there is a Substack platform where I'm going to be establishing articles on emotional intelligence. So other than that, I also have told you how to get into EQ brain skills workshops. So make sure that you take a note of the workshop details. The link is given below. All the links are given below in the descriptions. Ensure you register there. Whenever it's going to be out there, you'll get notified. Okay, with this, what I want to tell you is changes is the only constant in life. So if you can make your brain skills as your companion, then any changes can be embraced at ease. Okay, if you really resonate with this kind of an episode, please do share your love symbol, your likes and dislikes. Let me know what you want me to also include in future. Right? This is again, it's an initiative. Even for me, I need to embrace change as well. So while I'm embracing change, while I'm learning to, the more I talk about emotional intelligence, I'm also learning a lot. Okay. The only key difference is how much are we going to apply it in our lives. So that's the only key difference between learning and results. Right. So let me know in the comments about what you have learned, and when I see your comments, I'm going to give you this reward. And stay tuned for more interesting episodes, because we're going to go cover 35 more episodes in this series. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.